Good morning, and thank you for attending Request for Quote put on by TIS VA Concierge. I am Salathia, and I will be going over this presentation with you this morning. Like I said, it's Request for Quote, which could be abbreviated to be RFQ. And while I really don't care too much for reading the slides verbatim, at some point I will. And just for now, we will talk about what is an RFQ, who uses it, the difference between RFQ, RFP, RFI, and a proposal, when to use it, what to include in it, and how to evaluate the responses. What is an RFQ? RFQ is an easy way to get pricing information from someone that you need a particular service or product from. It is usually short and sweet, but detailed in that the requester already knows exactly what they want and will sometimes not stray from their particular requirement. Who uses an RFQ? Basically anyone who is seeking prices from someone or a company for a product or service that they provide. You do yourself an RFQ process when you are purchasing a big item such as a car, a house, TV, washer, and dryer. You already know exactly what you want, the features of it all, and now you go to several different places looking for who has it, and if they have it, you want to know how much it's going to cost you. Ideally, when you issue an RFQ, you have an idea of how much it's going to cost and how much you want to spend, and sometimes the two don't necessarily match. But in this case, it's easy to see when you are doing it yourself, when you are buying something and you're comparing the prices. That's sort of what the RFQ process is. You know, you want a TV that has a LED system. It has to have 4 HDMI inputs. It has to be able to hook up to your computer. It has to be 65 inches wide. In that case, your requirement is very detailed, and so you will go to as many sources as you can to find a TV exactly like the one you want and within your budget. So I know a lot of times you hear the phrases RFQ, RFP, RFI, and proposal. Well, the RFQ is request for quotes. Is usually when the requester knows exactly what they want and they're basically just looking for a price. RFP is request for a proposal. The requester has an idea of what they want but not sure exactly how to get there. And so your response is a proposal telling them how you would perform the particular service, and also it includes the price. Your RFI is a request for information. It's just that you are pooling different sources of supply to see if they may have what you want now or in the future. You're just asking for information. You're not ready to make a decision to buy. That's sort of what you're doing when you go to the various stores and you pick up the pamphlet about a particular paint. You're not sure you're ready to paint yet. You know, you may want to do it in the future, but you want to get as much information as you can so that when you're ready to buy your paint, you'll know exactly what kind of paint you want, exactly what color, and how much you're willing to spend on it. And that's basically what an RFI does. The proposal is your response to the request for quotes or the request for the proposal. Your proposal is the actual response. I know sometimes people mix up the terminology saying RFP, but the RFP is what the person wants. The proposal is what you provide. So hopefully that will take care of some of the inquiries and the misconception and the confusion and the lingo. Quote is usually a price. The person is looking for a price. The proposal, the person is looking for a little bit more information on how you will actually provide the service or the product. And the request for information is just that, getting more information so that you'll be an informed consumer. When to use the RFQ process, mainly when you have a need to be filled. That's when you'll use it. When you want to compare prices and you know exactly what you want. Those are the those are the times when you'll want to use the RFQ process. You know exactly what you want and you can get it down to the minute, the second, the hour, exactly what you want. And very little room for someone to propose something different. They can, but you have your requirement, and so they need to be able to fulfill your requirement. And it's also when you want to compare prices, you assume that they are responding according to the way you ask for it, so you can go straight to the bottom line. If you have two proposals and you're going to look at it, you can go straight to the bottom line to see who will be the best suit for you. And what you want to include in your RFQ. And I'm saying RFQ and RFP, those can be interchangeable. It just really depends on how much information you have. If you know exactly what you want to have done, then you would go the RFQ route. If you're not sure, then you would go the RFP route. But these things you want to have in all of your requests. You want to have your contact information. You want to have the date that you open the request, and you want to have a date that the request will close. That way it's giving anybody a quick view saying, okay, well, she's going to open that today and it's going to close on Monday. So I need to get my ducks in a row because I know after Monday I will not be able to offer my services because it's no longer available for me to bid on. You want to give a time period of answering questions. If you're going to open something on Thursday, then you want to maybe have everyone submit their questions no later than Friday and respond to all of the questions, but you'll want to respond to the questions to everybody. And that makes it fair. You know, Jane may be asking, hey, are you going to have more than one person perform this for you? And Bill may be asking, are you only looking for one person? While they are the same question, you know, the answer is going to be the same, but you still want to make sure that you answer everyone's question, even if you are referencing another person's question. And you want to do it in a format where everybody gets the same response. You don't want to put yourself in a situation where you tell Bill, no, I'm only hiring one person, and what you're telling Jane, well, you know what? I would entertain, you know, maybe one or two people. You want to be very clear when you're answering your questions, and maybe have it in the open forum. Well, you get online, let them know, hey, I'm going to be online from 10 to 11 on such and such day. Come online, ask any questions you have, and then if you have any in writing, then I will answer those for the ones that have submitted their questions in writing. That way you're giving everybody that is interested in what you have the same opportunity and the same response. And that will keep you from, well, I didn't get that answer, because in the community of VAs, it's very small, even though it's growing. People are in the same Facebook groups, the same LinkedIn groups, and so you want to make sure that you are being fair. Then you want to give an expected date to actually award it or to contract out for that particular service. And then that way it'll keep people from asking, hey, did you award that? Are you still looking for help? Um, you see it all the time in the different groups. Someone say, hey, I need someone who's good with one shopping cart. And that's all you hear. And then you see people asking, well, do you still need more information? I'm interested, and things like that. But if you're giving everyone enough information, such as the date it will open, close, when you're going to answer questions, and when you're going to award it, that will eliminate all of the maybe inbox messages that you get, the different PM messages that you'll get, because everyone will know. Now, will that stop someone from asking a question after the date it's already closed or after you award it? No, it won't, but at least you will have a system in place, and that's what it's all about, having a system in place to be able to get exactly what you want in the time frame that you want. It's all about having a system. And with that, you want to make sure that you include your budget, because you don't want, it's inevitable. Someone is going to propose out of your budget. But if they're all coming outside of your budget, then you may have to think, well, did I price it right? Am I missing something? But you do want to let everyone know, hey, I only have $200. So that's all I can do. And or give them a range, 200 to 250. But if you have a budget, then that's what you have. And if everyone is coming in above your budget, maybe you have to take some things out of your request in order to meet your budget, unless you find money somewhere and can entertain those that proposed higher than your budget amount. And then you will always want to have your requirement. Your requirement you may want to have in a bulleted format, so that it's very clear exactly what you want. Now, if you have like a whole paragraph and it's just sentence after sentence after sentence, that's not eye-friendly, and it may preclude someone from bidding on it because they may not understand exactly what you want. So a nice eye-catching bullet format, they can see that you need someone to work in WordPress for 2 hours a day, 5 days a week. This is what I need, and detail it like that. Be as specific as possible, so therefore you'll have your requirements set, so they'll know exactly what they're proposing on. Now, if you're using an RFP scenario, everything applies, but when you get to the requirement, you may say, I need someone to manage my WordPress site. I have about 50 visitors a day. I need you to give me the tracking, the status, different things you may want, but you're not sure how they're going to do it. So then you say, okay, tell me how you would do this. If you had this particular job to do for me, how would you go about getting the site statistics? How would you go about tracking where my visitors are coming from and where they're going to once they leave my site? So in that case, you want a little bit more information from the person, and that's to make sure they know what they're doing. And you may not know what's all involved, and then you'll be able to see, oh, okay, so this is how I do this and this is how I do that. So a proposal will give you a little bit more, a RFP, their response, the proposal that is provided is a little bit more in depth than just the RFQ. A RFQ response is almost just regurgitating what you said you needed in the requirement and putting a price to it. So then how to evaluate the responses. You'll want to make sure that you have your rating criteria established before the proposal is closed. All or nothing. Can they do it all? But if they can't, are you willing to accept something less? Are you willing to negotiate? The person who can do 5 out of the 10 things you asked for. You don't know who it is, but if it came down to it, are you willing to accept 5 of your 10 things, or do you need all 10 of those things? And what if the price is higher than the budget amount? You already have to know before you start evaluating the responses if you are willing to go over your budget. And if you are, say by how much. I mean, to yourself on a piece of paper, say my budget is 200, but I'm willing to go to 20. And so if someone comes in at 10:30, 2:30, or 2:40, then you can kind of X them out, because you already know, hey, I really can't go over 220. I would like to be at 200, but 220, I think I could still manage. You have to look at what's best for you. And what if they propose or quote something that's different than what you're asking for? Are you willing to accept something that's worse or better than what you're actually asking for? You have to know these things up front, because if you don't know, then your whole process will be you'll be stressed out about it, because it's a very clear way to help you eliminate the people who are not responsive to what you're asking for. It is a very quick way for you to see who is actually giving you what you're asking for. When you have criteria established, then you'll want to follow that plan and evaluate everyone the same way. And like I said, you compare your responses against the criteria and let the people know who didn't get that particular contract with you, or who didn't win. Let them know so that they're not kept in the lurch, wondering, hey, I wonder, let me check in to see if she actually ever awarded that contract for WordPress help, or did she ever find anyone to help her out. And that's a way to keep a rapport with the people who want to propose on your services. And then they'll say, oh, okay, well, she let me know that I didn't get it, but next time she has something come out, I know her process now, so I would be more apt to respond. And then because she was very thorough, she provided answers to my questions, and she let me know that I didn't win. And I think all of those things are important when you're asking people to supply you with information. They don't want to feel like they're just out there giving people information and then nothing comes of it. They want some type of closure to the process. If I give you my price or offer my services to you, and you never come back and say, oh, yeah, you know what, I awarded it to such and such, or it's no longer available, or I did find someone to award it to, but keep your eyes out, I might have something else later, then I'm more willing to work with that than you leaving me hanging after I've taken my time to respond to a request that you had. So that's it. I just want to thank you for attending. Um, I'll follow up within a day or two with a brief survey, and also a special offer for you attending. And at this time, do you have anyone have any questions? No questions? Well, thank you very much for attending, and you have a great day.